Here's some mental health awareness, advice, teachings on the dealings with death, and how through radical acceptance it will help cure our psychosis. The Theravadins had it right, in my opinion, concerning death. Their auburn robes were even first implemented by their masters telling them to go to the graveyards and get the cloth that people couldn't afford to bury. Back then it was allowed to just put them in orange cloths or auburn brown cloths and throw them on the side if you couldn't afford to bury them. And the monks would take those robes off the dead, or the blankets off the dead, and wear them as robes. Spend time in solitude, spend time in nature. See, what would the forest be without any dead trees? It wouldn't be a forest at all. Life comes, life goes. As Thich Nhat Hanh said, when the conditions are right, life manifests. When the conditions are not right, life subsides. And we've all heard the old psychological adages or formulas for dealing with things we're afraid of, is to confront them little by little and slowly by slowly. So we have the solitude, the forest, learning from nature itself, letting nature be our teacher. Go take a walk in some graveyards. Bring your family. It's interesting to look at the old graves and see how old they were, and sometimes you get the stories and you get to see a little bit of history. Poetry, artwork on death. These things are beautiful, nothing to be afraid of. Society has stigmatized this, has made it a taboo subject, but it's getting better. And the more we learn about it, the more we befriend it, become acquainted with it, with death, the less afraid we are of it. And that psychosis, it clears up, and we don't become so neurotic or anxious. One of the old Wats I hear in Wats, kind of like a Buddhist temple in Thailand, they would set up skeletons of monks who passed away. They would eat lunch right with a standing up skeleton right next to them. It was quite normal for them. And, it's quite amazing what the mind can do. It takes away that fear. It doesn't mean that you should become some kind of recluse psychopath and have no empathy and absorb death and think negative thoughts. No, not at all. It's just allowing you to become acquainted with your very nature. And one of the pillars in Buddhism also is morality, sila and metta, loving acts of loving kindness and compassion. Without those, you're lost. So first establish those, or during whatever, but point being is not a dark subject. It's actually a quite beautiful subject that helps us to heal in various amounts of ways, and through radical acceptance of all things that are disagreeable. Through radical acceptance of this, it becomes quite agreeable and quite lovely, in fact. Gives you an appreciation for life.